Welcome, Voices of Strength, and welcome to my channel, Beyond the Shadows, Recovery After Abuse. Welcome, Voices of Strength. Today we'll be talking about bipolar and what is bipolar. Bipolar is a mood disorder. We'll be talking about that today along with depression and why bipolar disorder relationships normally don't work. We'll go through all of that. I have several slides to show you. This will be maybe a 2 or 3 part series here. So one part is going to be the slides. I'll be showing you a lot of slides. And then the next part is a short video, so about a 4-minute video that I'll let you guys watch, and we'll go over it together and learn a lot about bipolar disorder. So you guys who have been watching my channel have learned about abusive tactics, narcissism. Now we're doing bipolar disorder. We're finding out that there's 3 bipolar disorders, not just one. Okay, we will learn about why these relationships don't work. We'll learn about the different, how you can detect somebody with bipolar disorder. Let's see, I have all my slides here, but I will be reading those to you shortly. We'll be talking about how many cases of bipolar disorder there is. We'll be talking about the onset of bipolar disorder, what causes bipolar disorder, other causes, when does it typically start. We'll be going through a lot of that. We'll be going through some charts to show you the mood. Let me pull it up real quick. Okay, it'll show you like manic, it'll show you the mood, and then it'll show you depression. I drew this, so y'all will have to look over the drawing, okay? But anyway, the mood is here. And that's me and you and everybody who don't have the bipolar disorder, okay? Sometimes we have mood swings, but that's normal. Everybody have them. Where sometimes our mood is just straight across, and sometimes it dip down to a little depression here and there, but we come right back up. It's not where we have to be where we're in depression for 7 days and 4 days or different things like that. It's just some days we just have a bad day, and that's just that. And people have those bad days, but just because you have bad days or mood swings don't mean you bipolar, that you have a bipolar disorder. That doesn't mean that. There is a lot to it, and I will be going over all the different things. So you'll know if you have it, you'll know if your partner have it, you'll know if your mother, brother, sister, cousin, whoever have it, once we go over all of this stuff. Not all of them are violent. They may rage, but they may not attack you. That's what I mean. It may not be an abusive situation where they're attacking you or where they're cussing you out, but it could be. It could be. I don't know what type of relationship you're in, if your partner has this or not, but sometimes it can get really bad. Sometimes it's just mellow, sometimes it's low. But when it get abusive, or when it start to get abusive, when it get verbal abusive and all different type of stuff like that, you want to get away from that. You want to learn as much as you can about it, and then choose what you want to do. Okay? But if you're being hurt, abused, get out. Get out. Don't sit there and take no type of abuse. That is just a no-no. Okay? We're going to get on to the slides. But first, before we get to the slides, I keep telling you guys, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my domestic violence, my childhood abuse. Okay? I told you guys about me jumping out the window, hitting my head and running. I told you about me getting beat constantly and nobody came to help me. Well, this one incident, I was getting beat, and my mother was my abuser, but my mother was on drugs at the time, and she had a really bad spirit in her, a real bad demon. I mean, you could see it clear as day. You could see it just like you see me. You could see this demon clear as day in her. So this one day, it was actually Easter Sunday, And I asked my mother for a pencil. I had got her an Easter card, and I wanted to sign the card. And I asked her for a pencil, and that triggered her. There was a ketchup bottle. Now, back in the day, the ketchup bottle was round, you can't see me, round like this with a long top like this. I think it was a 32 ounce or something. It was, and it was in a glass bottle, you know. That was sitting next to my bed because she had gave us some French fries the night before, and she had brought the French fries up and the ketchup bottle up and a Pepsi bottle, the 32 ounce Pepsi bottle. I believe she had company or something that day, and we were to stay in our rooms. So this was in my room. So when I asked her for the pencil, she turned around, and those devil eyes that were completely black. I showed you guys a picture of what I was talking about, but it was not my mother. My mother was beautiful. I mean, gorgeous woman. Light skin, long, pretty hair, fine, pencil line fine. She was gorgeous. But this person was not my mother. It was not my mother. There was nothing gorgeous about her. She looked just like a demon. It wasn't her. It wasn't her. Her eyes were black. Her skin tone was different. Her voice was different. Everything about her was different. So I knew it wasn't her. Anyway, she came in there and she picked up that pop bottle. And she started swinging it at me and hit me with that pop bottle. And so I was throwing my legs up like this. And she was hitting me, so it was hitting me all in my knees and everything. And she was just beating me. Somehow, that bottle broke. And so she picked up the ketchup bottle. Now I'm screaming. All this time, I'm screaming, and this is daytime. This is not nighttime this time. This is not nighttime. I am screaming. I mean, imagine getting beat with a bottle all over your body, and you can't do nothing but kick your legs and throw your arms up. Okay, so I'm screaming. It's daytime. Nobody came to help me again. Okay? So anyway, she picked up the ketchup bottle and she walked over to my head and she bam, the ketchup bottle in my head into the ketchup. Now, mind you, this is this big fat ketchup bottle, not the little skinny one, because we had the little skinny glass ketchup bottle. Then we had the big fat one with the big, long thing on it. And so she held it like that and she turned it up. And she just beat me in the head with it And I'm screaming. She beat me so long till my head went numb. I couldn't even feel her beating me no more, but I'm still screaming. All of a sudden, the bottle broke. The bottle burst. It was ketchup all over me, plus my blood all over me. Then after that, she told me she was getting ready to kill me. This time, now one time I jumped out the window, hit my head. This time I ran down the stairs. And I don't remember if this was the time that she said she was going to set me on fire, or if this was the time that one she said she was boiling the hangers and she was going to whip me with the hangers and it was going to take all my skin off. The other time she said she was going to set me on fire. So I don't remember which time. I know both of them was the time that I ran. The one when I jumped out the window and hit my head. And then the other time is when she said when she was beating me with that ketchup bottle when I ran. So anyway, I am running. I got ketchup, blood, everything all over me. Do you believe I made it from the west side on West 5th all the way to 40th and Woodland in the projects to my grandmother's house, and not one person asked me what was wrong with me, what happened to me, or anything? we stopped at a gas station, my brother and I, because my brother was with me. And every time I ran, he ran with me. Well, the first time he was chasing me because my mother told him to chase me. But instead of taking me back, he grabbed my hand and pulled me, and we ran on. And we ran and we ran and we ran. Okay, but this time with the ketchup all over me and everything, we stopped at a gas station. So my brother was trying to clean the blood off of me and the ketchup off of me and everything off of me. And, you know, I'm still crying or whatever. And he just said, stop crying, it's over, you know. So he got me as clean as he could. We didn't have no shoes on. No shoes. I mean, you don't have time to get dressed when this stuff happened. So I had on a pair of shorts and I had on a tube top. A tube top, the tube top with the straps on, the little ruffles right here. Yeah, that's what I had on. And there was blood everywhere. I mean, you couldn't clean the blood off the tube top, but he got the blood pretty much off my face and out my eyes. And so we get to my grandmother's house and my cousin is there. She knew instantly, she seen all that. So she took me upstairs and she put me in the tub and she washed me and got all the blood and everything off me. Then she started washing my hair. Then she poured the peroxide in my hair because the holes, the blood and everything from me getting beat, she washed it. She put the peroxide. She was, you know, I don't know how old she was, but she was way older than me. But anyway, she cleaned me up real good and changed my clothes. My grandmother eventually came home, seeing what had happened. I told y'all before, we had went to the hospital and she made us run because the police had came to investigate. So she made us run and jump on the bus so we didn't ever get treated. So all these years, I had never got treated. My knee was messed up from her beating me with the ketchup bottle. Beating me with the pop bottle on my knees and stuff. My head was messed up from her beating me with the ketchup bottle. So I was just well beaten. I was beaten, but guess what? I didn't hate my mother. I wanted to be with my mother still, but I didn't want to be with that demon. I didn't want to be with that, but I wanted to be with my mother because I love my mother so much. And I don't want y'all to think that I had a bad mother or you know, some mothers just evil, just beat their kids, just do. No, it wasn't like that with her. When she wasn't on them drugs and everything, she was the sweetest, kindest, loving person you ever want to meet. I mean, she makes steaks, make us steaks. I mean, and she knew I loved her steaks, her rough, tough steaks, but I loved them. And she'd make these big old tomahawk-looking steaks. But I enjoyed it. She knew what I liked. She knew I liked paper dolls and different things like that, doll houses. She would get me stuff like that. She would get everything that I loved. And she would play with me. She loved me. She would hug me. She would kiss me. All of that stuff. But she got hold to these drugs, and I don't know what happened, but she lost her ever-loving mind. She let not only one demon in, but she let a lot of them in there because she had the strength that she never had before, and she had the speed that she never had before. When we had jumped out that window and started running, my brother and I, we was running so fast and so far. She caught up with us like she was Jason or Michael Myers or something. Like, boom, how did you do that? How did you do that? That was just like almost impossible. And then a car was coming and she jumped. She got, because she was so gorgeous. Anybody would give her a ride, give her a hand. And then she could switch real quick. Help me, my babies. You know, she could switch like that and then she could turn to something else. Then she could turn to something else. You know, she could switch real quick. So we ran and everything. But once we was with my grandmother's house, she had my uncle call, and she told my uncle that we had ran away and everything. He was telling us to go back, and she was on the phone like, baby, what? Come on home, what's wrong? You know. She would just switch into all these different demons. I mean, all of them had a different voice too. Every last one of them. And I didn't like none of them. I didn't like nobody but my mother. And my mother had the sweetest voice, sexy voice. She'd be on the phone to me, hello. she was beautiful, gorgeous voice. She could sing everything. She was it. She was the mother. I mean, she'd fight. She'd go out there and fight for you. Could nobody touch us. But she got hold to that heroin. That's what it was. Whatever. I guess that's what it was. It stink real bad, and I know it was a needle. So I'm assuming it was heroin. But anyway, she had got hold to that stuff, and all of a sudden she started hallucinating, thinking people was in the house, in the corner, who in the house, different things like that. So I just wanted to tell y'all a little bit about my story, my abuse. Each episode that I do here, I'm trying to add a little bit more of my story, because I want you guys to know that I'm just not talking to you guys because I can, or telling y'all stay away from abuse or this or that. I'm not doing it just because I can. I'm doing it because I experienced it. I lived it. I went through it. And a lot of the stuff that I teach you guys is stuff that I went through. Now, later on in the years, my sister and I, no, it was my daughter and I, we were looking at her medication, and we looked up the name to see what this medication was for. And guess what it was for? Bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder. So my mother had a bipolar disorder. That mood that would swing, you know. Now she got off the drugs, and she went to jail and everything. So while she was in jail, she got herself off the drugs while she was in jail. But when she came out, she started drinking, and she turned into a real bad alcoholic. She was still abusive. But she wasn't out of her mind. She didn't have all those other demons and all of that stuff. You could see it was her. The eyes never changed. The skin color never changed. The voice never changed. You knew it was her. When she drank, you knew it was her. But when she drank, it was still a spirit in her, because that spirit hated me. It hated me. And it was like she would look at me and just slap me out of the blue. Like, what you hit me for? But I didn't say that. But she would just hit me or do something like, 'cause she can. But I love that lady. Now, I'm not saying that I let no man do this or nobody else do this, but that was my mother, and it was just that connection. I just love my mother so much because how good she was to me, because I knew who she was, you know. So I just wanted to let you guys know I'm not just on here talking to you because I got the little certificate for this and different things like that. No, that's not it. That's not it. I actually experienced the things that I'm telling you about. I told you about my one story about my narcissist boyfriend, and I have so many more stories. But right now, I'm not going to linger on. I just keep telling you guys, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my abuse. So it gets worse, and then it gets better. But it took me a long time. I told you guys that I had PTSD, and it took a long time to get over it, but I did. Thank God. Thanks to God. Okay. So I'm going to put the slides up now. Let you guys watch the slides. And I will see you in the next video, where we will be watching the video about bipolar relationships. I will get with you guys later. I don't think there's anything else I need to tell you before we look at the slides. Let's see. Let me go over here, because I don't want to get off of here and then have to come back because I forgot to tell you something. Oh, cocaine. Cocaine. Did you know cocaine could be the cause of bipolar disorder too? Yeah. And see, that's probably what it was with my mother with the heroin. Okay. So in here, it tells about other causes, and cocaine and drugs is one of them. Oh, I can't wait till you guys get hold to this. So I didn't held you up long enough. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to show you these slides. And then I'll put part 2 on another video, okay? And then I'll come back again, and then we'll wrap up bipolar disorder, and we'll move on to the next one, okay? So I'll see you guys later, Voices of Strength. In a minute, we'll be looking at the slides. All right, bye-bye.
10 reasons why bipolar relationships fail to work. 1. Extreme shifts in mood and behavior. 2. Emotional roller coaster of ups and downs. 3. Financial strain. 4. Hypersexuality. 5. Bipolar anger and rage. 6. Stigma and isolation. 7. Impact on social life. 8. Self-destructive behavior. 9. Dependency. 10. Difficulty in conflict resolution. Grandiosity, flight of ideas, agitation, no sleep, impulsive, mania, elevated mood for 7 days or more, distractibility. What is bipolar disorder? Bipolar disorder, mania, mood, depression, time. Bipolar is a mood disorder. Symptoms are depression, low mood, anhedonia, sleep disturbance, low energy, feeling worthless, lack of concentration, thought of death, diet disturbance. Mania, hypomania, elevated mood, sense of grandiosity, pressured speech, racing thoughts and ideas, distractibility, goal-oriented behavior, excessive pleasure spending, diminished need for sleep. 5.7 million cases of bipolar disorder. 3 types of bipolar disorder. Bipolar 1, single episode of mania depression. Bipolar 2, single depressive episode plus hypomanic. Bipolar 3, cyclothymia, mild bipolar, and hypomanic. Typical onset, late adolescence, early adulthood. What causes bipolar disorder? Unknown for sure, genetics. One parent with bipolar 15 to 30% chance of development. 2 parents with bipolar disorder 50 to 70% chance of development. It is not guaranteed that you will develop bipolar disorder. Other causes: thyroid issue, traumatic brain injury, corticosteroids medication, cocaine and other drugs, temporal lobe seizures. Rule out all medical and medicine that can cause it. Mania, a state of abnormally elevated or irritable mood, energy, and activity often associated with bipolar disorder. Grandiosity, an unrealistic sense of superiority or self-importance, often characterized by an exaggerated belief in one's abilities or achievements. Anhedonia, the inability to experience pleasure or interest in activities that are typically enjoyable, often linked to depression. Hypomania, a milder form of mania characterized by increased energy, elevated mood, and heightened activity levels, but without the severe consequences of full-blown mania. Cyclothymia, a mood disorder involving periods of hypomanic symptoms and periods of depressive symptoms that are less severe than those in major depressive disorder. Hypomanic, pertaining to the state of hypomania, where an individual exhibits elevated mood and increased productivity, but does not reach the extreme levels of mania. Depression, a mood disorder characterized by persistent feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and a lack of interest or pleasure in previously enjoyed activities.